Cheryl Swoopes is TT, and I'm going to deliver some justice for Cheryl Swoopes. She's in the crosshairs again, the former WNBA star. She's been trolling, going after Caitlyn Clark since Caitlyn Clark's college days. It's gone on into Caitlyn Clark's WNBA career. But in this instance, I'm going to sincerely defend Cheryl Swoopes. Buckle up, get ready. Cheryl Swoopes in some hot water because she was on a podcast, I think that's sponsored, promoted by the WNBA, and she started talking about the Indiana Fever's first game back after the Olympic break. They played the Seattle Storm. The Fever looked amazing. They were very efficient offensively. The Storm, good team, good winning record. Fever come out of the gate, look amazing. The Lexi Hole knocked down a bunch of three-pointers, scored 22 points. Kelsey Mitchell scored a bunch of points. Caitlyn Clark had a great all-around game. Cheryl Swoopes talks about this game and what a great start the Fever got off to after the Olympic break, but she did not reference Caitlyn Clark, and people are upset about it. Let's play Cheryl Swoopes omitting Caitlyn Clark.
This Indiana team, I'm going to say shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Absolutely. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double. I know we're talking about teams where they can move and things changing, but if Indiana continues to play the way they're playing like this, they too are going to move up in the standings.
So that's Cheryl Swoopes, and everybody's acknowledging that, hey, look, she talked about the Indiana Fever, said a bunch of nice things, but somehow didn't manage to reference Caitlyn Clark. I get why she didn't. I understand why she did it. And part of it is Cheryl Swoopes doesn't like Caitlyn Clark. We'll enter that into the record. Not going to be in denial of that. Cheryl Swoopes has some jealousy, envy issues as it relates to Caitlyn Clark. She's right in there with some of the other hating-ass Shaniquas that, are upset with Caitlyn Clark. But that's not what's driving Cheryl Swoopes here, in my view. Cheryl Swoopes is recognizing that, hey, I can't say what I really think about Caitlyn Clark in this moment, coming off that Seattle game and just trying to talk about it. Because if I unpack the whole truth about what she really wants to say about Caitlyn Clark, I'm going to get ripped for it as well. And so the only thing I can say about Caitlyn Clark is, oh, Caitlyn Clark's the greatest. Well, that's not what Cheryl Swoopes believes, and that's not her number one takeaway from that Seattle Storm game. That wasn't. And so she just left it out. You got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. It was strategic. I'm not going to touch it because they can't handle the truth. Think of Jack Nicholson. Think of Tom Cruise and A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. And Cheryl Swoopes is right. People can't handle the truth about Caitlyn Clark. There's no one on the planet who could argue that I have a problem with Caitlyn Clark. I am a Caitlyn Clark groupie homer. I hated the WNBA until the very moment Caitlyn Clark showed up on the scene, and now I watch the WNBA 3-4 times a week. I watch it even when Caitlyn Clark's not playing, and it's all because of Caitlyn Clark. I'm a Caitlyn Clark homer. Caitlyn Clark this isn't gimmick, it's not shtick. She's my third favorite athlete of all time.
And I'm going to touch on that right there. I'm sure a lot of people are starting to feel that way when it comes to Caitlyn Clark. She's for sure my favorite WNBA basketball player of all time. for sure. She's easily done that. But one thing I do want to touch on when it comes to Swoopes is a lot of people were commenting and DMing me, and I've even got emails saying that Swoopes could potentially be in some type of legal issues when she lied on Caitlyn Clark's name and all those allegations and things like that, when she did that earlier on in Gil's Arena and those type of things. Now, me personally, I said, I don't know about that. I feel like if that were the case, something of that nature would probably be blasted all over the internet if that were true, or if that were something that would be the case. That would be a headline somewhere for sure. So another thing is, I feel like she's almost trolling to some degree because she knows that it's getting her views and things like that, and she's getting the hate comments and stuff, and she wants to read them, and she's blocking people on Instagram or whatever the case is. But it's really hard to judge with her, and obviously there's some things going right for her because the WNBA got behind her and her podcast. She's broadcasting the WNBA games. So I don't know if she's just using this to her advantage or what she's doing, but as far as you go to like Caitlyn Clark's fan base, everything you did earlier on in the year, they don't like you. It's done. Now her fan base is going to outweigh your fan base by millions. So maybe he is right. Maybe Jason's right. Maybe let me just not say Caitlyn's name because I understand that you guys are going to attack me with whatever the case may be. Her thing is racial slurs and all kind of stuff and all that and left and right. So maybe Jason's right on that. Maybe she's just being smart about it and doesn't want the hateful comments and stuff like that. But at this point, you're going to get them regardless, in my opinion. You've already put yourself in that position to have a fan base like Caitlyn Clark's ready to attack you for anything you do, whether you mention her name or don't mention her name. But you should know by how you're speaking on Indiana Fever not to mention her name, you know what that's going to do. She triggered a headline. She triggered reactions. She triggered emotions out of fans, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Now, if she means that and she means to leave out Caitlyn Clark, that's just pitiful. That's just pure hate. And I think that there's something wrong with her if that's the case. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jason talk and continue on here, man.
Of all time, there have been 3 athletes that have absolutely captured my imagination in my 57 years on this planet. Magic Johnson was first, and I was a nut job. I used to keep my own stats off TV. Go back to the 1980s before, all the ESPN stats and everything was. I kept my own stats on Magic because, and particularly when he played the Celtics and Larry Bird, they're cheating Magic. I'm going to keep my own stats. They're not giving him his rebounds and assists, blah, blah, blah. I was a Magic Johnson nut job favorite athlete. Magic was then surpassed by Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, me and my dad used to talk about Tiger Woods. It just, the Tiger Woods thing just took over my life, and there was nothing that could come on television that was more important than Tiger Woods on a Saturday or Sunday, even in first Thursday, Friday rounds, whatever. I was a Tiger Woods nut job. Caitlyn Clark, third athlete to ever do that, totally reworked my sports passion, my schedule around Caitlyn Clark, making sure I can follow her. I love Caitlyn Clark. I'm also no different than Magic Johnson and Tiger Woods. I will criticize Caitlyn Clark. Because there's nothing that I love that I will not criticize. Nothing, including myself. I love myself more than virtually anything, and I'm critical of me. Listen to this show. Critical of Magic Johnson. When Magic Johnson transitioned into a television talk show host, used to criticize him often. When Tiger Woods melted down in 2009 on Thanksgiving and could never mentally recover from that, had to criticize him. And I still love these guys. Magic as a basketball player, Tiger as a golfer, and Caitlyn Clark. But we live in an era now where from social media to debate sports TV, everybody believes and behaves as if, oh my God, if you criticize someone, you hate them. Even if I put out 50 straight tweets that are nothing but supportive of Caitlyn Clark, if I pivot once and say, hey, these turnovers that Caitlyn Clark is at, they're a problem and need to be fixed. I'll start getting people tweeting, oh, you just hate Caitlyn Clark. You're just doing that to please Caitlyn Clark haters. No, I'm just talking about what I'm observing.
That's very weird because I love Caitlyn Clark and I criticize her all the time. I'm one to always tell her or tell the fans or tell whoever's watching my videos, if I see Caitlyn Clark pouting about a call or she's, getting down about this or she's not making shots, she's getting frustrated, I'm not playing that. Get out of your head in the next play. You're that good. We're not worried about that. Defense. Stop double teaming and leave your man on the island for an open three-pointer. I get on Caitlyn Clark. There's a lot of things I get on her about. And my fans seem to love it. They seem to think I'm keeping it real. They like to keep it. I like to keep it 100. And I love Caitlyn Clark. Just how I do Angel Reese. But Angel Reese, I'm going to tell you right now, she got to work on her skill set. Rickea Jackson has a better upside than her when it comes to offense. Rickea Jackson should be in the rookie with race talk for position number 2, not 1. Caitlyn Clark has 1. But, Jason, I don't know right here. I'm not sure if Jason got the call like L, but this is Cheryl Swoopes. I don't think we get on Cheryl Swoopes for her criticism. I think it's the way she goes about it, the things she says. It's not criticism. It's more like a cover-up for her hate. What it really is, she's covering up that hateful shit she was doing earlier. Pretty much, oh, it's not about black or white, but is it though? Like, is it about black and white? Like, when you guys give me a platform, I'm going to speak up for the people of my color. I'm going to speak up for the girls of my race. Like, so if Caitlyn Clark was black, you'd be all over her then. But since she's not, you're only going to choose to talk about Angel Reese and Rickea Jackson. And Kelsey Mitchell. And Aaliyah Boston. Knowing damn well you got a rookie leading this league in assist. About to lead in all kind of records. Leading this team to the playoffs. I'm not saying it's solely her, but okay, Kelsey Mitchell and them were there last year. How many games did they win? How many games did they win last year? 13. They have already surpassed how many games they've won last year with 14. They still have 10 more games left. When's the last time when's the last time they've been to the playoffs? The Indiana Fever. So, her trying to sit here and deny the fact that there's a rookie who is changing this game to a way that it's never been seen before is why we get on Cheryl Swoopes. Lying about her age. 25. She should be bullying. You want to talk about bullying? What's your little ass attitude? You want to talk about bullying? Let's talk about bullying. That stinky ass attitude. Nobody wants to hear that. You're just lying out of your mouth talking about Caitlyn Clark is 25 and she should be doing this out there. Caitlyn Clark was 21, barely about to turn 22 when you said that nonsense. Talking about she takes 40 shots a game. 40 shots a game? You mean like 20 to 25? Which we want to see out of an aggressive player, which indeed, guess what that got her? 20 to 25, 40 shots a game. Guess where that got her? Number 1 draft pick in the WNBA. Guess where that got her? Rookie of the year to become. Guess where that got her? A team like the Indiana Fever who were in last place, well, third to last place last year in the playoffs. Guess what that got her? Indiana Fever have the highest viewership of any professional sports team to this day, right now, currently. Not in general, but currently at the moment she does. Packed out arenas, breaking arena and ticket sales. Hot dog sales up 500%. Beer sales up 380 fucking percent. Like, what are we talking about? And you want to sit here and deny Caitlyn Clark? And I'm going to keep saying this. Caitlyn Clark is not a worker there. She doesn't work for the WNBA. She fucking invests in the WNBA. All the rest of the girls, they show up for their job. That's the type of impact Caitlyn Clark has on the WNBA. She needs equity for whatever little equity that there is from the past 20 years. This league hasn't been anything for the past 20 years, and I'm going to keep it 100. That's not to say there hasn't been talent, girls who could play. But where's your spark? Why haven't you guys brought any attention to you, to your city, to your team, to your organization? Why is that? Why are we depending on Caitlyn Clark? And now you guys want to shit on her. Be physical with her. Let her get hurt. Watch where this league goes. Do you guys think you're enough to move the needle? You're not. Because it hasn't been done yet. No disrespect. I'm just respectfully stating the facts. So, Jason, I'm not sure where this is, coming from. But this is a little left field for me. And it's a little weird. Did you get the call? Did you get the call?
Caitlyn Clark, sloppy with the basketball, and the turnovers are a problem. They're nearly as big a problem. Nearly. I didn't say it's the same, but they're nearly as big a problem as Angel Reese's inability to make simple layups. Angel Reese is shooting like 25-30% from 3 feet. It's a problem. Caitlyn Clark and all of the turnovers, the sloppiness with the basketball, the nonchalant passes that are getting picked off, they're a problem. Empty possessions are a problem. I pointed this out over Twitter, and I immediately got inundated with people taking shots at me. How dare you criticize Caitlyn Clark? And so Cheryl Swoopes, I'm sure, watching the same thing as me. I watched that Seattle Storm game. Caitlyn Clark played a solid game, 23 points, I think 9 assists, 5 rebounds, whatever. But she started out shooting poorly, and the turnover problem was still there. And then when you get to their game 2, when they played the Minnesota Lynx this weekend, the turnovers were a problem. And I know Minnesota's a great defensive team.
First off, now you're gonna have me call you a clown. Because now we're talking about turnovers. First off, it wasn't their second game. They already won 2 games out of the break. That was their third game, which they had a 5-day break when they're in full momentum. No excuses. But they also lost by 10 points, which the Lynx has damn near been beating every damn team in the league as of recent. One of the best defensive leagues in the whole league. Like, now we're counting turnovers? Oh, okay. You're going to get on LeBron about his turnovers? He averages about 5 a game. If you don't know that, go look it up. He averages about 5 a game. He leads the NBA in turnovers in history. Now we're talking about turnovers. What about her teammates not catching the ball? What about her teammates not catching the ball? What about her teammates blowing wide open layups? Because those assist numbers we're looking at, that could be an average a little bit higher, 2-3 more. Instead of it being 8, it could be around 11 average. What about her teammates not being ready for those 40 turnovers earlier on in the season? Not being ready for those type of passes from an elite point guard. Not no basic shit you see in the WNBA. Some sorry-ass point guards with weak-ass passing. Now I'm a little frustrated. And I'm not talking about the Chelsea Grays. I'm not talking about those type of points. I'm talking about the average point guard in the WNBA. The average guard in the WNBA with them sloppy-ass passes. Caitlyn Clark, one of the best passers I've ever seen. And she's a girl. Her teammates weren't ready for that. Her teammates were not ready for that. Some of those passes in the Lynx, we're talking about slight turnovers. Maybe Lexi Hall running out in transition. And if those passes are right here, those could be easily converted. So I'm going to take that pass all day because she's playing fast. She's playing the right type of basketball. We missed the pass by this much. I saw it 3 times. So now I'm a little confused right here. Because now we're talking turnovers just as bad as Angel Reese's layups. Are you fucking kidding me? Now you got me cussing in this bitch. What are you talking about? Angel Reese's layups are fucking terrible. She shouldn't even be in the rookie race fucking conversations. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. You got me teed up in here about to crash out. And I'm trying to keep her professional, but Angel Reese's layups, that is unexcusable. Unexcusable. You are a professional basketball player. Professional basketball player. We're talking about under the rim layups. We're not talking about turnovers where teammates aren't ready trying to play, and you have an explosive point guard trying to play exciting basketball when the teammate's not caught up to that type of speed. When you play that fast, when you have 19 assists a game, 15 assists a game, you're going to have turnovers because you're trying to make the right pass. That's crazy to me. Almost as bad as her layups. Well, guess what? Caitlyn Clark, they're winning basketball games. So those layups, those games where the Chicago Sky losing by 2 points, yeah, if Angel Reese makes those damn layups, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I love Angel. And just like you said, when we love someone, it's hard not to criticize them, right? So I don't want to hear you in my comment because Jason right there just admitted that we could criticize the people we love, right? That's what I've been saying this whole time. So I'm going to continue on, but you got me a little frustrated, Jason. You really did. I'm wondering if you got the call. Because this is not how you were talking about Caitlyn before. And she's improved a lot. So I'm not sure what you're talking about at all.
But the 7 turnovers were a big part of the reason of taking the Fever out of that game. And yes, they were blitzing her and double teaming her, and her teammates could help her out. But there's this myth out there that, oh my God, half of Caitlyn Clark's turnovers are her teammates dropping passes. That's a lie. That's not the case. Caitlyn Clark is sloppy with the basketball and turns it over too easy, and it's a problem that needs to be fixed and addressed. I can say that while loving Caitlyn Clark. It's no different. Many of you love this show, but you may email me or tweet at me, hey, Whitlock, lose some weight. It's a problem. You're saying that out of love. Cheryl Swoopes can't talk about Caitlyn Clark and say, I think what Caitlyn Clark is doing is tremendous. I think that her impact on the game is unbelievable. I think she's Rookie of the Year. But if she doesn't clean up the sloppy turnovers, and if she doesn't improve her shot selection, she's not, and the Indiana Fever are not going to reach their full potential this year. And Cheryl Swoopes is 100% right that Lexi Hull's shooting and Kelsey Mitchell's shot making and the triple-double that Aaliyah Boston almost put together were the primary drivers in them winning that game over the Seattle Storm. It was not Caitlyn Clark. And Caitlyn Clark is Rookie of the Year. Caitlyn Clark should be in the MVP conversation, in my opinion. Caitlyn Clark is the reason I watch the WNBA. But Caitlyn Clark, shot selections and turnover problems are troubling, and I just don't see them getting any better.
Nah, bro. I honestly, bro, I might even cut this shit off. I might. This don't even sound like Jason. I might cut this shit off, bro. Because you're going to sit here and try to tell me Lexi Hall, Kelsey Mitchell are the reason they're winning games. I get it. But who is bringing that energy to this team? Who is bringing that fast-paced basketball to this team? Who is drawing multiple defenders to one person to have open players for those shot selections? Caitlyn motherfucking Clark. You're pissing me off, dog. Like, I'm getting out of character because this take right here this is some BS. This is some BS right here. And I might cut it, bro, because it's really frustrating me. How are you going to sit here and say they're not getting better? You don't try to change what Caitlyn Clark is doing as a rookie with the most responsibility out of all rookies on a team that was in third to last place last year. They have beat some of the top teams in this league, and they have lost some games that they really, really should have won. They have played head-to-head with almost every team in this league. And Caitlyn Clark isn't a part of that. Caitlyn Clark isn't their floor general. Caitlyn Clark doesn't get them easy transition buckets. I'm a little lost. Maybe Jason has a thing for Cheryl. I'm not sure what it is. But you guys, let me know if I'm wigging, if I'm crashing out. But this right here is a little ridiculous. And I'm gonna let him finish, man. We got 4 more minutes left, but this one's a tough one to watch without slapping the shit out of him through the screen, bro. Like get your head together, Jason. What's wrong with you, Jason? Come on, man.
The turnover thing seems to be getting worse. The shot selection is slightly improving. But the shot making, the logo 3 thing, needs to be kicked to the curb. She needs to take that shot maybe twice a game, 1.5 times a game. Let's start taking some 2s. Let's start taking some easier 3s. The logo 3, it's a nice little brand, but it's not contributing to winning. You can't have that conversation in this environment. Oh, you hate Caitlyn Clark. So Cheryl Swoopes chose to say nothing because she can't say what she really thinks without being accused of being racist or an, Caitlyn deranged critic. So she said nothing. And I'm going to defend Cheryl Swoopes. Stephen A. Smith, who doesn't watch the games, doesn't watch NBA games, doesn't watch WNBA games, doesn't know what he's talking about. He's like most people. He jumped on Cheryl Swoopes because he's trying to prove, hey, I'm not racist like Cheryl Swoopes. Let me beat up Cheryl Swoopes and take some pot shots at Cheryl Swoopes. Let's play Stephen A. Smith taking pot shots at Cheryl Swoopes.
So no, Caitlyn Clark. Cheryl Swoopes. No, Caitlyn Clark. Respectfully, Cheryl Swoopes, you have any idea how that makes you look? You have any idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlyn Clark, because that gives fodder to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree? Do you realize that, Cheryl Swoopes, you're insane to do that? Let me tell you why you're insane to do that. Because Cheryl Swoopes, you're one of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball. That's why. See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won 3 Olympic gold medals. You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlyn Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
And before he continues, look, man, I'm going to say this. Caitlyn Clark's not perfect. And like I said, I criticize her all the time. And I got receipts. I have plenty of videos criticizing Caitlyn Clark. She's not perfect. I think the turnovers will decrease. She's a rookie. They will decrease. But we can't deny the fact that everything she's done on it far outweighs turnovers. Trust me.
When you don't watch the games and you don't know what you're talking about, that's what you yell at Cheryl Swoopes. And this whole social media climate, this whole media climate of no one needs to actually watch the games, no one needs to be informed, you just need to be loud and interesting. That's the standard. So Stephen A. Smith doesn't know what he's talking about. And so Cheryl Swoopes is upset. she, to some degree, now Cheryl Swoopes, I'm not saying all of her intentions are pure. She wants to be in this conversation. She's no different than Angel Reese, has piggybacked the Caitlyn Clark momentum and ridden it into a level of relevancy that's undeserved. Cheryl Swoopes doing the exact same thing. But Cheryl has a leg to stand on here. She said nothing because you can't handle the truth. If she said what she really believes, no different, because again, no different. I'm a Caitlyn Clark homer groupie. She's my third favorite athlete of all time.
Stop it, Jason.
Could go to number one. I'm not joking. I'm not saying this for clout, stick, or whatever. You just don't go from watching no WNBA to watching a lot of WNBA and, oh, it's just a gimmick. It's just for clout. He's just chasing clicks. No. The woman has connected the sport to me in a real way. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man, we're done with Jason. I mean, I was gonna cut it a long time ago. This is a crazy take from him. I'm shocked, man. And I got a little out of character, bro. He made me crash out, bro. I had to because this was a wild take. This is a wild take, bro. If we sit here and really think about this, as I stated earlier, nobody's just hating on Swoop for no reason. You were sitting up there lying earlier on in the season. You were making it about a race thing. You still are. Like, come on, man. Don't try to backtrack and then all of a sudden you sponsored by WNBA. Now ESPN's getting these calls and everybody's changing the narrative. All these guys, all these people who were making videos and these segments 4 weeks ago, all of a sudden they just switch like this into a whole different. And he's saying he loves Caitlyn Clark, which I'm sure he does. But what made you make this take right here? Was it because of Stephen A. Smith? Otherwise, I'm not sure why you did this segment defending Swoopes when nobody's talking about her turnovers. Nobody. So we'll see, man. They got the who they got today? They got the Sun. They got the Fever on Friday. I mean, Chicago Sky on Friday. I expect them to beat both teams. I do. So, like I said, man, I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to leave it at that. You know, Jason, one of those guys, you know, very respectable guy. But this take right here is a little mind-blowing to me. You know, I'm a little shocked. I still respect him. Got love for him. But it's a little off for me. This take is a little off. So, we'll see, man. At the end of the day, Caitlyn Clark didn't say anything bad about Swoopes in the beginning. Swoopes said it first. And she triggered it. So whatever role she's trying to play now, let her do that. And it is what it is, man. I just think this was a bad take right here. So let me know what you guys think. It's your boy C. O'Connor. Welcome to Game Day. I'll have plenty of content out on the way. I appreciate you guys, man. I'm going to catch you on the next one. And I'm out.